And thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. Glad you made it today. Today I wanted to talk to you about COLA, cost of living adjustments, right? So every year we're always anticipating what that COLA will be, what it'll look like, how much it will increase our veterans' disability compensation or Social Security or other benefits that are affected by COLA. Now, what I wanted to kind of chime in here on is, one, we just came off the heels of this 8.7 increase, and now we're looking at CPI data, which is really kind of one of the main indicators as far as where our COLA will be adjusted, right? So they'll use those numbers. However, when Social Security Administration is looking at these numbers and determining what the COLA will be, they use the last quarter of the federal fiscal year's numbers to analyze for a year over year. So that would be, remember, the federal fiscal year starts in October. So your federal fiscal year ending would be that September, August, and July. So July, August, September, those 3 months are the numbers that are really going to affect where we land as far as any sort of cost of living adjustment is concerned. Now, I do have some information that I pulled up on the computer here just to give us a snapshot. Every month we end up getting the numbers for CPI, the Consumer Price Index, and it gives us an indication, right, of kind of where things are going, and we can maybe forecast a little bit, have some sort of an idea of where we're headed. Is it getting worse? Is it getting better? In the world of COLA, right, the worse things are, the better the COLA will be, but I mean, it's kind of washed away by the cost of everything to live. So it's this weird double-edged sword thing, I guess. With that, one of the things here, again, January's numbers, every month that is calculated, the CPI numbers, they're published the next month in the middle of the month. So here we are in the middle of February, and we would be looking at January's numbers in this case. Now remember, we've had October, November, December, and now January's CPI numbers. And so let's dive into these numbers real quick. So the January 23 Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, which is CPIW, was released February 14th, so a couple days ago. Happy Valentine's Day. And it was 293.565, which was a 0.6% higher than the fiscal year 23 baseline of 291.901. So it was higher. The next CPIW release, again, that's for the urban wage earners and clerical workers, release is set for March 14th. So March 14th, we will get February's numbers. Now, again, remember that, as far as COLA is concerned, they're really going to be focused on the July, August, and September of this year. And then that will be compared to the prior years to then forecast, or not forecast, but then to create our COLA, which will be announced sometime in the middle of October. But definitely want to give a little bit of insight here, and really kind of boil down to what the kind of, I guess, forecast or guess of where we will fall as far as a potential increase is concerned. So here, this article says, while they don't know exactly what the COLA will be for next year until the third quarter, they're referencing the calendar year, not the fiscal year. Third quarter, there are some indicators in recent months that will provide some clues, right? So then it talks about inflation, and they're stating that it started to slow with all the Fed rate hikes and all of that stuff, starting to feel that to slow down some of the inflation. It says that it fell 0.1% in December on a monthly basis, and then it was up 6.5 for a year over year. Said that that's still high, but it's still low, when it's looked at last June, where it was a 9.1 year over year. So it's what they're basically saying is that, they're starting to see a trend downward. And look, at the end of the day, something quirky could happen, and, it takes one or two swipes of a pen to change some policy somewhere that creates a massive, back blow, and next thing you know, inflation's through the roof again. So there's a lot of time between now and then. But if everything stays pretty much status quo, there's a good chance that it will remain on this trajectory. Now, as far as estimating where COLA would fall, it's this article here anyway, and I'm kind of in the same boat. It says it may not be at the levels of July, August, or September in the years before, but with the July, August, September last quarter of the fiscal year coming up this year, the Social Security Administration will use that to calculate its COLA, and right now it's expected to end up in the 3 to 5% range. And although that's well below the years prior, it's still a very healthy increase. And it's like I said, it's really going to have a lot to do with where the government moves, right? What direction they move in different things, and trying to keep everything in check as far as inflation. Things were out of control last year, and hopefully some of that gets rectified, and we can have, from a personal perspective, I would rather have lower cost of livings on a nice, easy trajectory than massive ones, because the massive ones mean that there was some massive increases in the consumer price index, which is not good, right? Everywhere you're going, everything costs more, so that money just evaporates. So with that, I'm going to do these on a monthly basis as the numbers come out, just to share the information and kind of get a new update as far as what the experts are guessing a projection would be with regard to a future COLA. And remember that our COLA is tied to Social Security Administration. So when Social Security Administration makes their determination on what a COLA, cost of living increase or cost of living adjustment, would be, the VA mirrors it. So with that, we'll be standing by and waiting for these last 3 months. But again, every month up until then is kind of a sneak peek into what we will be seeing in those months to come. So again, the July, August, September last quarter of the fiscal year is really where the rubber meets the road, and we'll get a little heavier. But right now, just little snapshots. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.